It was just getting dark when I entered the mall. As I passed Arby's, the aroma of curly fries shook my resolve. My falling blood sugar pleaded. I hesitated briefly, then plodded on. Dinner would have to wait, even after the hectic day of ad deadlines. I trudged down the deserted hall and around the corner to Macy's, on a mission to buy a new white blouse for tomorrow's client meeting. Something simple but stylish, and above all, comfortable. After 30 minutes of searching through this year's pastel shades of blue and peach, 2012 colors, I located a simple white top. It seemed that as every year passed, I felt more out of step with fashion trends. But satisfied with what I found that evening, I headed for the register. 2 young women and a middle-aged man were standing near the counter. We sighed in unison after spotting a sales clerk approaching from another department. With no obvious line, the sales clerk asked the empty-armed man, "Do you need help?" Question answered, he wandered off. I smiled, sure that she'd get to me next. Instead, she turned to the 2 young women. "Can I help you?" They had been chatting and laughing the entire time, so cute and animated. I guessed they were college age. I heard the clerk recite her lines in a quick monotone. "Will you be paying with your Macy's credit card today?" I felt a hot flash warm my body and radiate up my neck and face. I gave myself an internal pep talk. This will go fast. They're almost done. I'll be out of here soon. The background noise of the department store faded as my mind wandered back to my first trip to Macy's in Chicago, 40 years earlier with my best friend from college, Cindy. It was the summer of 1972, after our sophomore year, when I got a job as Bunny Portia at the Lake Geneva Playboy Club. I remembered a sunny weekend in June when I had time off. I drove to Cindy's suburban house near Chicago. With the Rolling Stones' Brown Sugar blasting from my '57 Chevy's radio, I picked her up and we headed downtown for a day of sisterhood and shopping. "Watch out, Macy's, the dynamic duo is headed your way." Cindy bounced into my car. Her feathered ash blonde hair fell over one of her enormous blue eyes as she pulled out a joint and looked at me slyly. "Right on, sister," I said in my best stoner voice. By the time we got to Macy's, we were glassy-eyed and giggling. Our trendy Dr. Scholl's wooden sandals announced us as we sashayed down the marble-covered aisles. Clomping along with our curvy, college-age figures poured into miniskirts and halter tops, we were hard to ignore. As obnoxious as we were, salespeople loved to help dress us up like Barbie dolls. We were the fun girls in a sea of matrons, much like these 2 girls were to me. As I waited for the clerk to finish, I realized how much I missed shopping with friends. I stopped making time for that simple pleasure years ago. As I heard thank yous uttered, my mind returned to the present and the plain white blouse I needed to pay for. I stepped toward the counter, eager to get done and out of there. But the clerk didn't say anything and started walking away. I could see by her expression that my presence didn't register. With only the large counter between us, I tried to catch her eye, but she already had her back to me. "Excuse me," I called after her, but it was too late. She didn't hear me. I hurried after her. Excuse me. Running around the counter, I finally caught up when she stopped to straighten a display. She looked puzzled. "Can I help you?" Yes, I was standing at the register waiting, but you walked away," I said breathlessly. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't see you." So blunt and to the point, I was dumbstruck. She didn't see me. I was standing right in front of her, and she didn't see me. What did I have to do to get noticed? Put on a costume with bunny ears? The thought of my short white hair crowned with satin bunny ears made me laugh. I struggled with mixed feelings. Over the years, I had increasingly reveled in being less noticeable. No need to put up my guard as I passed men. No need to worry about someone's husband or brother hitting on me. Men had stopped confronting me with their stares. I no longer felt watched and judged. And I couldn't remember the last time I'd been whistled at. Life is easier to navigate when nobody notices what you look like. But this episode went beyond the new anonymity I treasured. When did I disappear? It happened so gradually I hadn't noticed until the clerk said, "I didn't see you." Friends had told me about disappearing, but I couldn't imagine what they were talking about until that moment. With a small shudder, I realized that no matter who I was on the inside, there was no longer a trace of Bunny Portia on the outside. My days of being seen were over. I was old. I had aged out. It's the new me, invisible.
Well, hello, young lady.
Did you just call me young lady? Do I look like a young lady? No. So please don't call me young lady. As an old lady who embraces aging, I'd like you to know you just pressed my button. Being called young lady is my pet peeve. I hear that you're trying to deliver a compliment and you're clearly attuned to popular culture. And popular culture says, young is good, old is bad. And to that, I say balderdash, because that's what old ladies say. What you can't know from looking is that I love being old. I've embraced old. It's a big part of my identity. Please don't take that away with the misguided assumption that I wish to be younger. I've been there, done that. It was great while it lasted, and now I'm old. Let me tell you my 7 best things about being old. 1, no one expects you to have black hair forever. When I turned 60, I let my hair go white after dyeing it for over 25 years. The time and money I've saved the last 8 years has left me feeling untethered in a good way. The box doesn't need to be checked. It's off the to-do list. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but it's been positively freeing for me. 2, with the loss of youthful appearance and the resulting invisibility comes the ability to move around the world like a ninja. Men don't notice old ladies. It's a nice change from the too much attention I got as a young woman. The feeling of constantly being watched and on display is gone, and I say hallelujah. 3, arthritis pain is here to tell me to slow the F down. Slowing down, I realize I have nothing left to prove. I sink into the present. It's so beautiful here. 4, I get to say, I'm tired, I need a nap. My feet hurt, I need to sit down now. I can't open this, can you help me please? I don't have to push through anymore. I've earned the right to be tired, sore, and a little disabled by my arthritis. And I'm okay with it, even if you're not. 5, embracing my age keeps me conscious of where I am on life's continuum. To paraphrase the writer Irma Bombeck, I can see I'm getting close to the end of the conveyor belt, and I don't want to lose track of that. It helps keep me in the present and grateful. I don't hesitate to tell people I love them. I know it's important, and I might not get another chance. 6, during a crisis, I know nothing's that important and everything is that important. And I can hold those 2 opposing thoughts in my head and not blow a fuse. They're both right. 7, I know I had a 7th point, but I can't remember it. But, you know, the good news is I don't care. You get old, you forget things all the time, and you just stop caring. So the next time you want to tell or compliment an old person, don't tell them how good they look for their age or call them young lady. Instead, just ask them how they are, or ask them their opinion on anything. And then listen. That is the best compliment you can give an old lady.